Hey everybody, it's Sharmel. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here with a chit chatty kind of video. You guys know a lot of my content is usually geared around like hair. However, I am in this protective style right now and I just wanted to film. So I'm like, why don't I do some chatty type of videos? So if you do enjoy these chatty kind of videos, let me know down in the comment section or like this video so that I can know and to continue to keep doing them. Today I am going to be talking about my experience in the Dominican Republic. The Dominican Republic has been in the headlines a lot lately, and not necessarily for good reasons. I did upload a travel vlog right after my trip, but I really didn't go into a lot of detail about my trip or my experience in that video. It was mainly just a few clips. I'll link it in somewhere if you guys want to go check it out. But I decided to kind of just sit down, tell you guys my verbal experience there, and then give you guys my thoughts on all the craziness that's been in the headlines. So let's get to it. So I went to the Dominican Republic in May for one full week. It was a full 7 days. I went with my cousin. It was just the two of us. He booked through a travel agent just because, like I said, originally it was supposed to be like a group of us, and it's kind of easier to book group travel with travel agents. So we did book through a travel agent, so and all of our accommodations were grouped together, so it made traveling really easy. So yeah, if I didn't say so, I went to Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. This was my first international, I don't say first international, but it was like my first real international trip. I have been out of the country before. I went to the Bahamas when I was younger with my family. And then a couple of years ago, I went to Mexico. But when I went to Mexico, it was on a cruise. So, you know, with cruises, you may stop in different countries, but most of your time is actually spent on the boat. Like I said, this was like my first real like international trip. We stayed at an all-inclusive resort. We stayed at Breathless Resort. Overall, I had an amazing time. I really enjoyed the trip. 7 days, it's a long time, but it's necessary like if you like to do stuff. I have taken shorter trips and it's like you can't really do a lot. The 7 days we were allowed to do it, not allowed, but we were able to do multiple excursions. We were able to have lazy days. We were just able to do a lot within the 7 days without having to cram everything in. Overall, I had a good time, but one of my least favorite things about the trip was their driving. They drive crazy, y'all. We had a shuttle arranged to pick us up from the airport. We get to the shuttle, it's like, I don't know, because you know I be trying not to act so American, you know, and you know I understand the privileges that we have, but this shuttle, it was the shuttles in general that we drove around in there, they were pretty raggedy and they were just really sketchy and really shady. On top of that, they drive extremely fast, and I'm like, I don't know if these cars should even be driving that fast. Is it safe to drive these cars that fast? And then the highways, they're like 2-lane highways, so there's a lane in each direction, and they drive fast. So if they get close or they get behind another car or shuttle that's going too slow, they like go around them, which means they have to go on the other side to the oncoming traffic to get in front of them. Like anytime we were in the car traveling somewhere, I was a bit uneasy. Like that was like my least favorite thing, but thank God we had no issues. So that was that. Like I said, I stayed at Breathless Resort. It was an all-inclusive resort, so we didn't really have to worry about anything. As far as like the people, the natives, upon arrival, like everyone we came in contact with, they were nice, really hospitable. Like when we got to our resort, they greeted us with like cold towels to cool off, and yeah, the men were extremely flirtatious, so that was one thing that was kind of, I don't want to say it made me uncomfortable, but it is possible to make someone, I wasn't uncomfortable, but I can see how someone may be uncomfortable with it. Like the people who worked in the hotel, like they were constantly calling us, like, normally you have to call, when you're in a hotel you have to call someone if you need something, but they were like checking in, like, do you need this, do you need that? Yeah, they were really on top of it as far as that goes. So we did a lot. We did a few excursions. The one thing that kind of sucked is about our resort is that none of the excursions took place at our resort. It always required a shuttle to come pick us up and take us somewhere else to do the excursions. And again, I didn't like driving in them cars. And on top of that, like, when you get to like an area where it's a populated area, it's cool. But like on the actual roads, it's just nothing but dirt and like trees and stuff. So like, I don't know, and the signs were in Spanish. So whenever we were on them dirt roads, I was just really kind of nervous, but it was fine. But yeah, our specific resort didn't offer any of the excursions there. So we did the dune buggies, where we kind of drove through the dirt and we rode on the beach. We did parasailing and we did a booze cruise. We got to get out and swim in the ocean and snorkeling and all of that stuff. So that was cool. We had one more excursion that we signed up for that we didn't make it to, which I'll get to. So yeah, the excursions were fun. I just hated that they weren't at our resort and we always had to kind of travel to get there. On top of that, our resort also didn't offer a lot of daytime activities. So each night they had like a different event. Like one night they had an all-white party. And then they had like different performances. And like they always had something each night, but they really didn't have anything during the day. So if you didn't want to pay money to sign up for an excursion, the only thing you had to really do was, you can go to the beach. I mean, that's fun. You can go to the beach. They have the swimming pool and then the bar. So that's really all they really had to offer like during the daytime. And those things are fun, but when you're there for 7 days, it's like, okay, I can only walk around this resort so many times. I can only swim in this swimming pool so many times before I get too bored. So I do wish that they offered more stuff during the daytime, because like we pay all this money and like we just want a little more entertainment. As far as food, I wish they offered more Dominican food on the resort. So we had, I think there were like maybe 5 or 6 different restaurants at our resort. Each restaurant had like a different theme or cuisine. So like they had hibachi. The hibachi place was okay. Like it wasn't nasty, but it just didn't taste like how hibachi tastes out here. They had a French cuisine place that was actually really good. They had like a Mexican restaurant. It was okay. Like they have a couple buffets and like some American style food. The food was okay. They just didn't offer any Dominican food on the resort. And it's like, you know, when you're in another country, at least when I'm in another country, like I want to experience like the culture a bit more. And I feel like the resort did a lot of advertising to travelers, to visitors, but it's like, you know, like I wanted to, like, it was a little too Americanized, I guess you can say, for the resort. And it's not a bad thing because we felt comfortable, but yeah, like you still want to experience some of the culture. We were able to try Dominican food out there. When we went on one of our excursions, there was a local Dominican restaurant and we were able to try the food, which was really good. It was like this chicken, I don't know what kind of seasonings it had on it, but it was good. Over some rice, and then it had like plantains. So yeah, the food was good when we actually tasted it. We were also, as far as like culture goes, there was like a little shopping center, flea market type thing that was down the street from our resort that we were able to walk to, and it was like more of the locals down there, a lot of mom and pop shops. Like I said, overall I had a really good experience. I had a lot of fun. And yeah, so after saying all that, everything was cool. So we got there on a Tuesday and we were leaving the following Tuesday. Everything was cool up until Sunday night. So that Sunday, we kind of overloaded, I guess, our day. So we signed up for the parasailing that morning. So we did parasailing that morning. And then the parasailing was at the same beach where the booze cruise was. So it made sense for us to sign up for that too, because Like if we did parasailing one day, then came back and then signed up, it just made sense to do it all in the same day since we were already going to be at that beach. So we had like parasailing at 10:30. We had the booze cruise at like maybe 1 or 2 in the afternoon. And then we also signed up for this party, which was it was called like it was a club, so it was off-site and it was like Party in the Cave or something. And so we could have went on a different night, like we could have went the night before, but Sunday nights was like the hip-hop nights, so we wanted to go on Sunday, which so happened to fall on the day where we did all the other stuff. And so we did all of that. We had an amazing time. So the good thing about the Party in the Cave, they didn't pick you up until like 10:30 that night. So we got back from like the parasailing and the booze cruise around like 5:30ish. So you know, we were like, okay, we can shower, we can eat, we can take a quick nap, and then, you know, we'll be energized to go to the club at 10:30. Didn't make it. So I remember being like really exhausted when we got back, but I'm thinking like I'm just tired because we've been out in the sun partying all day. So we went to dinner, we showered, we went to dinner, everything was fine. Then we get back to our room. So it's gonna be like a TMI moment. So in general, when I go on any type of vacation, I get a little irregular. Because I'm just eating different foods, or I'm not eating really healthy, or you know, I'm eating, yeah, I just get a little irregular, okay? So I have been a little backed up and irregular the entire, most of our time there. And so that night, like I said, I was super exhausted, but after we ate dinner, we got back to the room, we were laying down relaxing, you know, just relaxing until the party later. And so I started feeling something on my insides. And so I went to the bathroom. I relieved myself. And I was like, okay, I think I'm good. Like, I'm okay. Like, my body's finally regulating. So I went that first time. And then, like, maybe 15 minutes later, I was back in the bathroom. And this basically continued all night until the next morning. Like, I was in and out of the bathroom all night. Needless to say, we did not make it to the club that night. And we tried, so we went actually to the booth, to the excursion booth, to see if we can get like a refund, because I'm like, you know, I'm not feeling good, I'm not gonna make it to this party tonight. And he basically told me that I can go to the medic in the morning and get a doctor's note, and then bring that back tomorrow and they'll refund us our money. I was like, okay, cool. I felt horrible. Like, the following morning, I was just so weak, just from going back and forth to the bathroom. I had zero energy, and I just felt completely terrible. It was Monday, so we were leaving the following day, which was cool, but I just felt so terrible. I was scared to honestly eat because of my stomach was so unsettled. So I didn't really eat anything. I went to the medic, explained to him what was going on, and I also told him that I needed a doctor's note to get a refund for this excursion. So he basically told me that he couldn't give me a doctor's note without doing an actual consultation, and the consultation was $120. The refund, we paid $80 for the ticket. So I'm like, why would I pay $120 for a consultation to get $80 refund? And so then he tried to sell me some antibiotics, but they were, all the ingredients and stuff was in Spanish, and I didn't feel comfortable taking any medication that I could not read. So I ended up opting to just purchase the electrolytes, because like I said, I was so weak. Yeah, I took the electrolytes, and then that was kind of it. So we went back. My last couple of days there, I was sick and I didn't really get to enjoy it, but by that time I was ready to go home anyways. I'm like, let me just get out of here. So I wanted to tell that story because, like I said, the Dominican Republic has been in the news lately from a lot of travelers going over there and getting sick and passing away. And so it's crazy because when I went out there, I think I had maybe heard of one story about someone passing out there. It was like a couple that came, a couple that came up missing. And like after my trip, all of these stories just kept coming out about these people. So when I was sick out there, I didn't think much about it, but then coming back and knowing that a lot of the travelers who passed away, they were sick before passing away, and I'm like, oh my god, did I catch something of what they had? So I don't want to come off sounding insensitive when it comes to people passing out there, like travelers, because it is sad. Like, it's sad to know that you can go somewhere for a vacation to enjoy life, experience life, and then you don't make it back home. So that in itself is definitely sad. However, I do feel like a lot of it is propaganda. What I mean by that, I don't know what, like, it's some sketchiness going on. Me, I'm more concerned, like, why is all of this coming out all of a sudden? Like, I know people, like, in my real life who have visited the Dominican Republic all the time. Like, I had one friend, he would go every year, at least once a year. And then I have another lady at my church who goes pretty often as well. And so I never heard anything bad up until like this last month or two about the DR. And I feel like a lot of people are blowing it out of proportion. And that the media is just kind of taking it and running with it. Again, the people who pass, it's tragic, it's sad, and yeah, like it's a sad situation. But I don't know, I just feel like I've seen a lot of like ignorant or just an Americanized view on the situation. Like, people like, that's why you don't go out the country, and you know, I'm not going nowhere, you need to stay in America, as if America is just like this super safe place as well. And so yeah, like, I don't know, I'm just the kind of person, whereas I was kind of raised where, like, when it's your time, it's your time. We don't really have a choice in the matter on how it will be. We just don't know. So for me, I'm not the type of person I'm not gonna live my life operated by fear. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't be cautious or, you know, take the necessary precautions when living life, but yeah, I'm just not going to operate by fear when it comes to living my life. Because I got a few comments on my vlog, and it's like, is it safe to go out there? Do you recommend it? Like, you know, people have travel books and they're kind of scared to go now because of all this news that's been coming out. And like I said, I think a lot of it is really propaganda. My cousin was telling me too, more people died last year in the DR than this year. And it's like, why didn't we hear anything about it last year? Like, what is it about 2019 that all this stuff is coming up? Yeah, I mean, if you're hesitant, if you're traveling out there and you're hesitant about going and you're debating on whether or not you should go, I mean, don't do anything you don't want to do. Like, if you feel like you're not gonna have a good time because you're gonna be too scared while you're out there, then don't go. But what I will say is do your proper research. I'm gonna be honest, I did not do a lot of research before I went to the DR. I did Google, like, how safe is the country overall, and just a few things. Like, I knew when I got out there not to drink the water, not to drink like tap water or any water from tap. They say, I did read something too, that you also shouldn't even brush your teeth with the tap water. You should mainly just shower with it. I did brush my teeth with the tap water. But yeah, I did do some light research. So I do recommend doing your research before you go, or before you go out the country in general. It's good to read up on the culture of the culture and customs of the country. There are different laws, because you have to remember, when you're in another country, like, they don't operate on the same law and judicial system that we do in America. So you kind of want to know, like, what you can and cannot do in another country. Always have the U.S. Embassy information just in case you do end up in an emergency situation where you need to reach out to somebody. But yeah, I mean, like I said, when it's your time, it's your time, and we can't like prevent everything. I guess what I'm trying to say, like, there are gonna be times in your life where things are gonna happen that you didn't see come up, and you just have to know how to work through it. But yeah, in addition to all these headlines, and you have all these additional crazy stories coming out about, like, it's the alcohol and they're selling fake alcohol, and I feel like a lot of it, I will say, because I do know a few of the deaths occurred at the same resort. So that resort, like, yeah, something may be going on with that resort, but to demonize the entire country because of one resort, I don't feel like it's fair. I did drink the alcohol out there. Like I said, we was at a all-inclusive, so I drank a lot of alcohol. I purchased alcohol. I brought me home a bottle of the pure white Hennessy. My family drank it. We drank it. We're all good. I brought home a bottle of, like, the Dominican rum that was in our that came in our mini bar. I drank that. I brought that home with me. I haven't had any issues. I brought home a couple of bottles of the Mama Juana. You guys know that if you've been, like, Mama Juana is like their national drink. So I've been drinking the liquor since I came back home. I drank it out there. I don't know what specifically caused my illness with me getting sick. It could have been, like I said, we were in the ocean that day on the water. I don't know, maybe a bug, something happened when I was swimming in the ocean, and, like, I don't know, there's a lot of different scenarios, but I feel like people are driving themselves crazy trying to figure out, like, solve this case of, like, why people are dying in the DR and giving yourself a headache when you don't necessarily need to. Is there something fishy going on? Maybe with a couple resorts, possibly. But yeah, like, like I said, I'm not telling nobody to go. I'm not telling nobody don't go. All I would want to say is do your own research and do what you feel comfortable with. Don't always listen to social media. Don't get your information too from social media, because I know the Shade Room, they had reported a death and tried to make it seem like it was recent, but when you read up on the story, that person had died the previous year. So it's just too much going on and too much reporting. So do your own personal research and do what feels comfortable to you. Like I said, overall, I had a great time. Like, there were a few hiccups, and I think it was mainly just being in a different country, being out of your comfort zone, but those things did not spoil my overall trip. Overall, I had a really good time. Will I go back? I would definitely, probably not anytime soon, just because, like, I haven't done a lot of international traveling and I do want to visit some other places first. But yeah, I would most definitely go back. But yeah, that's all I have to say. If you've ever been to the DR, let me know down in the description. Let me know down in the comment section about your experience. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, obviously. And yeah, it was fun talking to y'all, and I'll see you guys next video.